And looks like we're ready to go. Misty Rainforest getting cracked here. Ponder. If you're looking for deck lists, they're posted in our Discord. Where is the Discord? It's in the description of the YouTube video. It's below if you're watching on Twitch. It's in the live chat. It's everywhere. Join the damn Discord. All right. Turn one Ponder off a Snow Island. Passing the turn, leaving cards on top.
Touch. I'll get a volcanic and play a channel.
All right, Volcanic Island into Dragon's Rage Channeler. Very nice.
I'm gonna play a Wasteland. I'm gonna waste your Tomb. I'm gonna play a Bobble. I'm gonna crack it targeting you.
I'm gonna cast a second of the roots. I'm tapping first.
Interesting. Okay. Pass to you. I'll keep my draw off the bottom.
All right, land drop pass. Dragon's Rage Channeler lives to see another day. Eddie the Intern, thanks for the sub. 11 months for Eddie the Intern. Eddie says, "Where's Comet? I heard there would be Comet." Yes. Eddie, we just saw your exciting match against Mono Black Helm. We were all captivated. It was amazing. Belita Delta comes down. Yeah, it was an insane match. Cracking Polluted Delta.
Cast Ponder.
Double counter.
And I'll pass to you.
Counterbalance, trigger.
Counterbalance hitting the stack. Surveil trigger hitting the stack. And it looks like Kaplan's opting to leave it on top.
Just kidding. Alright, so I don't know if this is a game loss here, but I made my own tokens because those are like $15 each.
Dude, I know, right? It looks nice. Actually,
Okay, Wasteland gets dumped into the graveyard with Surveil. Force a negation on counterbalance. Pitching Narset. Narset, very valuable. And counterbalance, a big problem for my hand here.
Force pitch days, trigger again.
Force pitch days, triggering the Surveil once again.
I'll leave that on top.
All right, leaving it on top. And counterbalance will resolve.
Alright, where we go?
2, 3, 4, 5. He's gonna gain 4 counters. I'm gonna put my deck in. Okay.
Go.
And I will pass to you.
Okay.
This is actually the card that will be the
Oil stuff.
And the second one.
Another Dragon's Rage Channeler comes down. Ponder, double Surveil. So, you know, with all the talk recently about Blue-Red Delver and how good it is and whatever, double Dragon's Rage Channeler, a counterbalance, and potentially just filling up the graveyard right now for a Murktide next turn, potentially. Not giving away anything about how this game goes, but this is quite powerful. It's a lot of stuff that I need to be taking care of if I'm on the other side of the table. It's hard to keep up with starts like this sometimes. And the counterbalance, potentially making even my cantrips okay, so one of the Dragon's Age channelers were summoning sick. My cantrips get countered. All right, here's Expressive Iteration. It will resolve. So the card on top is likely a 1, we're guessing.
Exile bottom. Play that. Land for turn.
Take out number 6.
Yeah.
Kind of see this play touch, right?
Oh, he does. Yeah, my bad. First time I ever played that.
All right, Field of the Dead enters tapped. Fetching a flooded shrine here.
Whoa. Okay, sure. So that, after this attack by hand, sure. That's interesting.
I'll go planes and I'll pass the turn.
I was watching.
Getting a planes and passing the turn. Okay. Draw step. Going to try and Swords a Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Okay, so you
Brainstorm
have
response trigger
3
trigger.
mana.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so that goes to the board. Okay.
Use 2 of it to get it back.
So with that on the stack, I'm gonna bounce the Aura Circle.
No brainstorm.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Brainstorm resolving here. This Swords to Plowshare is likely countered.
Actually, you know what?
And, yeah.
You had the 3, you paid 2, bring it back.
Plenty of cards in the graveyard for Kaplan at this point. Reveals a lightning bolt.
Alright, now it's your main phase.
Already true. Still an instant land sorcery.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so that's
So you have this in hand. Correct.
No, I haven't, here you go.
Does it look like Dave has delirium?
Draw. Can I see your yard?
Two.
I think I'm just dead. You can flash.
Go.
Pass over the graveyard, then exile.
This, the split card has a flashback.
For the brainstorm.
Damage.
Brainstorm hitting the stack here. So a bit of a goof by me here. For some reason, my brain told me that this lightning bolt was drawn. I'm explaining that to Dave right now. I knew about the lightning bolt on top, but for some reason I thought it was drawn and I was in the clear to cast Brainstorm. So my bad. Not a gigantic misplay, but just threw away a Brainstorm for no reason. It was a good laugh.
Yeah, I've seen this is Bomber Man.
Yeah, of course. I owned the deck like maybe 5 years ago.
So 5 different lands on my side: Snow Island, Volcanic, Caracas, Plains, and Field of the Dead. Need 2 more lands to start firing that off. Now a Brainstorm again. Bolt you and double Surveil trigger.
Leave that on top.
You can't have it as your companion.
Leave it on
I
top.
don't.
Bolt.
Is Zerta?
No, it's not bad.
Counterbalance.
Zerta is banned when
Dragon's Rage Channeler revealed on top. So Surveil was there. Surveil was Dave's way of checking the top of the deck if there was a 1, and there was, so it was left there. Otherwise, the card might have been thrown into the graveyard. Attacking for 2 with Dragon's Rage Channelers, and here's a third Dragon's Rage Channeler, which is just terrific for counterbalance. And I'm locked hard, pretty hard out of this game right now. I remember my hand had cantrips and other 1-mana stuff, and the window to be able to cast spells and have anything be relevant was probably gone at this point. All right, so fetching with a Fled Strand here, finding a Savannah. Minsc and Boo.
I will trigger counterbalance.
Like a whole tiny deck, huh? Yeah. Could have been a number on the side here.
Force, trigger.
Minsc and Boo getting forced. Triple Surveil trigger. Steam Vents into the yard. Polluted Delta into the yard. Force of Will into the yard.
Nope.
Still no Delirium.
You paid a life for the force right? Alright, it's countered.
Okay. I'm gonna fail to reveal for counterbalance.
Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't think I even care at that point. 3 Dragon's Rage Channelers on the battlefield. No Delirium yet. Attacking for 3. Passing the turn, I'm down to 5.
I'll cast Brew.
So I was thinking here for a moment about using Caracas with Uro. Do I let it go to the graveyard or not? It's a tricky decision.
Wonder if I should not waste
Triggering Counterbalance reveals an expressive iteration. So now I'm explaining, I'm putting the triggers in a way where I could Caracas after drawing a card if I want to.
Put a land on play off of that.
So I don't have a green. So I'm opting to put it in the graveyard. Now, I could have put it back in hand to cast next turn. Now, something I was thinking about here, but that wasn't my plan. Especially since I felt like Delirium was on the way for Dave. I did get to make a zombie. Looks like Greg just drew, Dave just drew an expressive iteration. Yeah, Endurance would be great right now.
One card, yeah.
YouTube commenters will let me know if they think I should have just bounced Uro. Yeah, I am stuck on 1 green, which makes escaping Uro next turn not a possibility. So maybe I should have just Caracas Uro back to my hand. This is not a Green Sun Zenith list. This is a control list. It might have been better to Green Sun Zenith. All right, so expressive iteration. Surveil leaves the card on top. There's Lightning Bolt. No Delirium yet.
Yeah, I have the protect in those scenarios. I'll bolt the zombie triple trigger. I got the Delver.
Alright, you got it.
Alright, Surveil puts a Delver into the graveyard, which gives Delirium to Dave, so my decision with Caracas ended up being basically irrelevant. All right, putting one card on the bottom. Didier Klein was the player who played this list to first place at an event in France last weekend. It's posted in our Discord. All right, so Carpet of Flowers on the battlefield. I'm not going to be able to make a mana off this Misty Rainforest and Ponder.
I think I've encountered that before. I was trying to get Chalice to avoid the stop like a hyper.
Yeah, that it has to literally say 1
This
or
card is
0.
like absurd.
That was in a running.
There's people who are playing.
I was wondering why these decks weren't running like one like Seed of the Sun and one like
Oh my god, that would be.
I was like, there be no downside.
It also has to. It has to be. It can't be. Even if it's an artifact that has a colored mana. Even if it's an artifact that's cost 1 blue, it still wouldn't work. It has to literally.
All right, Polluted Delta Pass. No mana for Carpet of Flowers yet. Brainstorm.
If you get like the artifact lands and Chalice, that would be.
Well, Chalice went through that.
Yeah, Chalice would not be walking this would be pretty bad.
Well, it would have been great because I would have been able to win. I was like, no.
There are times that
You wouldn't have been able to. It would have been through the battlefield as a 0/0, right?
It looks like I missed a land drop. I don't even remember. Yeah, it looks like I missed a land drop, right? Not sure.
I had, some other things, but.
All right, there's Flooded Strand and Pass. Have not been able to use this Carpet of Flowers yet. All right, double fetches here for Kaplan. Finding Volcanic Islands.
Combo deck that doesn't have any draw or filter in it, so you have them, whatever it's called.
It was like good when Control was good.
Fables are good though, yeah. They've been. I played in Modern too.
Petty Theft on Carpet of Flowers. Conscript says you guys are so proper, no shortcutting done. Yeah. We're playing the game the way it's meant to be played, everybody. Serious, no smiling, and every possible shortcut skipped. All right, Red Blast on the Petty Theft, so Carpet of Flowers will stick around.
I think any two creatures in the deck have really strong synergy with each other, which is my favorite part of it. Like, Canonist and Painter means they cast something you grant, right? Painter and Weatherburns non-protect thing. Right, and Painter and Esper Sentinel, Esper Sentinel.
Oh, there's Counterbalance again. This card really gave me a pain in game 1, and it's going to resolve here. Carpet of Flowers can make some mana now, though. That card is live. Gives me a pretty nice advantage.
That was a good way to cast Yep. And I think, like, Saga Finding Pile and
Rod, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
I know somebody was trying with just smoothing it out. Like I have some 3 ups in the deck.
All right, so we're going to have 2 white mana floating here. I'm going to try and hit Counterbalance. Brainstorm. Now, my dilemma here was, do I want to pay an additional mana and have Prismatic Ending be 3? It didn't feel worth it at the time, so I did not do that. But we got 1 Brainstorm out of the way here, Expressive Iteration revealed on top, to counter Prismatic Ending. And a fetch with Flooded Strand on my side. Knowing there's a 2 on top.
I'll use one of these. Casting
Endurance.
Tapped over trigger.
1 white floating.
I'll target you.
And I'll put Dave's Graveyard shuffled up and placed on the bottom of the library.
In my turn.
So Counterbalance lives here. Endurance hits the table. Maddening Hex. That's a good one.
Yep, it's fine.
Maddening Hex will resolve. This card is quite good. Is everybody watching right now aware of how good Maddening Hex is, or are you still trapped in July? Or has everybody figured it out by now? I still don't know if everybody's figured out how good this card is. I don't know.
Iteration, Surveil.
Oh, cast Minsc and Boo.
Both trigger.
All right, casting a Minsc and Boo. That'll trigger Maddening Hex and Counterbalance. Rolling a die. And it was a 3. All right, I put it out there for everybody to see. So I took 3 damage off Maddening Hex. Minsc and Boo is on the stack.
Hand, bottom, exile. 2. I'm going to cast Ponder, Surveil. I will leave that on top, and I'll swing in for 2. Pass to you.
Yeah, what's the name of the new artifact creature for 1 mana in Brothers War that sacks to exile target artifact or enchantment? That card looks good. All right, Minsc and Boo resolving. Here's the hamster token, and we're attacking for 7. Haywire Might. Yes, that's the one. That card looks good. Pick up a few copies of those when the set comes out. Yeah, it answers college or come play out. Expressive Iteration will resolve here for Kaplan, who's looking for an answer to Minsc and Boo. 1 card in hand. A Ponder into exile. 1 card on bottom. So there's a chance, looking at the current board, that I can race Maddening Hex with Endurance and a hamster. Okay, so the Ponder is in exile off the Expressive Iteration, and Ponder is hitting the stack and resolving. Cooperative Flowers helping me out quite a bit here. Minsc and Boo, hot in Legacy right now, and definitely seeing an increase in both Caracas and Hydroblast because of it. A fetch here for Kaplan. Corno says the main problem is there's a Saga are not playing green, really. Yeah, so maybe the lands or, lands decks where there's a Saga are going to be going for the Haywire Might the most. I'm not really sure how Haywire Might would fit into decks like 8-cast and stuff, although they do have Mox Opals and can pay the cost potentially with that. Yeah, digging for a Hydroblast is likely what's going on here for Kaplan. Minsc has 4 loyalty currently, so maybe Unholy Heat with Delirium could do it. A fetch land has happened. Volcanic Island has been found. Yeah, in 8-cast you can recur Haywire Might with Emery, exactly. Alright, so now Kaplan will likely... okay, so here's Hydroblast on Minsc, and it will resolve. I don't have an answer for it. And then a fetch.
My problem with Search Bill is I can never be like, oh, that card is garbage, because it's never garbage. But it's not as good
Get Mystic Sanctuary trigger on Hydroblast.
Mystic Sanctuary finding Hydroblasts. It's pretty good. And then casting the Ponder that was put into exile by Expressive Iteration. We're just seeing in this single turn how powerful Brainstorm, Ponder, Mystic Sanctuary, Expressive Iteration. Finding the cards they need in the Delver deck is quite easy compared to any other deck in the format. Yeah, there are these new Naya Stompy decks with Moloch, Initiative. Those could be a place for the Haywire Might as well, since they run Urza Saga. All right, Kaplan down to 2, facing down a Hamster, which is likely on its last turn of existence here, thanks to Hydroblast and Endurance.
It's really only good turn 1. Usually if you have to cast it turn, you know. So.
Dragon's Rage Channeler. Hydroblast Boo. Surveil. Wasteland into the yard.
I don't know how good that is. That was in the meltdowns, obviously.
And Murktide is a good follow-up. So the game completely swinging in the other direction, thanks to cantrips, Expressive Iteration, and now the big beater Murktide has resolved. Yeah, my deck is an Uro build. All right, so resolving the counterbalance trigger right now, and Kaplan having a think before it resolves. Source of Plowshares is on the stack, targeting Murktide.
I would highly recommend.
Pyroblast Endurance to Surveil. Top card gets thrown to the graveyard. Let's see what's on top for counterbalance. And it's a lucky 1. And Source of Plowshares is unfortunately countered.
You know, jamming it. Going over 3, 4, 1, I'll learn immediately.
All right, so Endurance can block. Murktide hits hard here.
Makes sense.
2 plateaus, 2 Dennis Bears, and then 4 that weird red white land. I don't know.
Expressive Iteration, double Surveil once again.
Any deck that's playing red should seriously consider it. Just because there's so much blue in the format. This deck and color control. It's just such a good deck.
Lightning Bolt, of course, quite good here with me at 11 life. Does not look like Delirium is up.
Just 3.
Well, I guess you're going to it's just another, it's something they do against control. Which they've got a bunch of white things. Like, I need it for a problem. It's just a way to like
There's at least 5 Delver players. I can't wait to get
Just
4 rounds of Delver matchups.
Just Murktide coming in here. So, could block and lose my Endurance. We know about Lightning Bolt. We know about Maddening Hex. Trying to think right now, how the heck do I win this game?
Doomsday versus Pulpus.
It's so I played it online. I got lucky with one win where I enhanced his pile. Game 2 just completely.
No blocks before damage bolt you.
It's so.
What I would do is I would play Sentry's Warning around that card is, that gives your next creature flash, and then just let them attack you with Ulamog and exile your library and then flash it and pass it over.
So you're going.
It's so bad. Like, because obviously combo's bad.
I just went to 8 off the bolt, and you're going to be taking.
So that's like the
Yeah, I'll take
ultimate.
6.
That's good. Vibrate track.
Vitor, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
For Reanimator, we have, you know, the Log instant speed.
It doesn't get hit by your endurance, doesn't get hit by collector.
I'll leave that on top.
Really.
No, you can sometimes cheese them if you flash in these turns when they make their pile, but like I've seen people are now bringing in.
Well, they just make 2 Oracle piles.
Do you know what else they do? I've seen people.
Had a couple of outs. Terminus, Uro, and drawing a land. Is there another one? Oh, Minsc. Minsc is an out. I have a bunch of outs, but did not draw one that turn. Hydroblast, the last card in hand, or was that on top? I'm not sure. Good games to Dave Kaplan. Good match. Well played.